Today we're now taking Tarqeeq and Tafkheem. Can you guys see me? Can you see me? I can't hear.
Yeah.
You can see my face.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, that's because it's really important for Tarqeeq and Tafkheem. Okay, you can mute your microphone. So today we'll be going to Tarqeeq and Tafkheem. We'll be taking Tarqeeq and Tafkheem in the most unconventional way. I've not seen anybody taught Tarqeeq and Tafkheem like this. Because when you talk about Tarqeeq and Tafkheem, they say heavy letters, light letters, full mouth letter, light mouth letter and stuff like that. I don't know. But the concept of Tarqeeq and Tafkheem, I'll give you like the easiest way for you to understand it. So what is Tarqeeq? This is a concept or expression where you free your mouth of air and pull your lips aside like a smiling person. When you're pronouncing an alphabet and it requires you to do like this, the process of pronouncing the alphabet requires you to do like this. What you've done is referred to as what? Tarqeeq. What is Tafkheem? Tafkheem is an expression where you protrude your mouth without showing your what? Without showing your teeth. Something like this. Anything that requires you, when you want to pronounce the alphabet requires you to do something like this. Like when you want to pronounce the alphabet, you are protruding your mouth. It requires you to protrude your mouth. That's what? That's Tafkheem. And we have Jawaz Wajhain. There are some alphabets that work on both situations. Okay? So we have some alphabets that can be Tarqeeq and Tafkheem at the same time. And we're going to explain Tarqeeq and Tafkheem with two major alphabets. Okay? Just follow as we go ahead. So we're taking Ra first. Tarqeeq and Tafkheem of Ra. When Ra takes sukun, the vowel that comes before it determines the ruling. Okay? When Ra takes sukun, whatever comes before Ra determines what? Determines the ruling of what? The ruling of the Ra. First, we have to understand that Ra itself, Ra with Fatha, is what? Is Tafkheem. Why? Because when you want to say Ra Fatha, Ra. Ra. You don't say R. You say Ra. Ra keso Ri. Ra doma Ru. So Ra Fatha Ra and Ra doma Ru is what? Tafkheem. Ra Ru. But let's continue. What is Tarqeeq? When Kasra comes before Ra, it is considered to be Tarqeeq. For example, Fir'aun. When I wanted to pronounce the Ra was pronounced while my mouth was what? Put behind. Fir'aun. Qir. Can you see? For me to pronounce the Ra taking sukun, it took its sukun while my mouth was what? Wide, moved to the back, and like what? Shown like as if I was what? A smiling person. Fir'aun. Qirtasin. Sirron. Fir'aun. Qirtasin. This act of pulling your mouth to this way is what? Is called Tarqeeq. And so when the vowel that exists, the tashkil, on the alphabet that comes before the Ra is what? Kasra. We do Tarqeeq. We widen our mouth. Okay? So now let's go to Tafkheem. So I would move this here because this is supposed to be here. But let me first respond. Tafkheem. When Kasra, when when fatha or dhamma, this is an error. When fatha or dhamma comes before raw sukun, then that constitutes tafkheem. Easy example, the most common example. Maur. You see the raw sukun was pronounced while my mouth was what? Protruded. Maur yam. This can also be an example of tafkheem, but we refer to something like this as what? Ijazu wajhain. Like it could be tarqeeq or tafkheem. So let me not add it to the tafkheem examples. Let me just add it to ijazu wajhain because I already had written it here already. Another example of tafkheem is what? Burhan. Can you see? Burhan. Can you see that my mouth was actually what? Protruded to the front to pronounce the raw. So the raw sukun was pronounced while my mouth was protruded. Maryam. Burhan. Now, ijaz wajhain. It's a situation where we can decide to either do tarqeeq or tafkheem. And we find this situation when what comes before the raw sakin is kesra, and what comes after it is one of the alphabets of isti'la. The examples of alphabets of isti'la include fusso, dogtin, qivon. So the alphabets of isti'la are kho, sod, dod, ghain, ta, qaf, and vo. When any of these alphabets, so when we have a word, okay, we have raw sukun. What comes before the raw sukun takes kasra. What comes afterwards, after the raw sukun, is what? One of the alphabets of what? Isti'la. So what comes before raw sukun does not really matter. It's what comes after it. So if you have raw sukun, and what comes after raw sukun is what? Any of the alphabets of isti'la. Kho, sod, dod, gha, po, kof, and vo. You can either do tarqeeq or tafkheem. So it's called what? Ijaz wajhain. I can say firqin. I can say firqin. The both is correct. Labil mir sod. I can do tarqiq. Mir sod. I do labil mir sod. Labil mir sod. It's also correct. So I can decide to protrude my mouth or bring it to the back. So when any of the alphabet of isti'ala, any of this alphabet, when they come after raw taking sukun, we can either do tarqiq or tafkheem of raw. So this situation is called i'jazu wajhain, possibility of what? Both situations. So that will be all about tarqiq and tafkheem of raw. Okay, I'm not done with tarqiq and tafkheem of raw. The following should be noted. Naturally, when raw is pronounced with fatha or dhamma, it's tafkheem. As I've said, raw fatha, raw, that's tafkheem. Raw dhamma, ru, that's tafkheem. Just like the original state of fatha and dhamma on raw, is observed with tafkheem, when raw has kasra on it, it is pronounced by doing tarqiq. Ri. So normally when raw has fatha or dhamma, raw fatha, raw dhamma, ru, raw kesra, ri. So like for you to understand, like the original state of raw, when it takes fatha and dhamma, is what? Is tafkheem, by protruding your mouth. And when it takes kesra, is what? When it takes kesra, it's what? Tarqiq, by pulling what? Your mouth aside. A very special scenario is also when the raw takes sukun and the alphabet before it takes sukun. But the sukun is ayarido. That it's the original vowel on the alphabet before the raw is not kesra, is not sukun, but became sukun for some reason. Okay. A very special scenario is also when the raw takes sukun and the alphabet that comes before it takes sukun. But the sukun is arido. That is, the vowel on the alphabet before the ra is not kesra, but became kesra for some reasons. For example of this is hamzatul wasl. Then in this special case, we do tafkheem rather than tarqeeq. We know already that when kesra, we know already that when kesra comes before ra sukun, what do? We do tarqeeq. For example, fir'aun, fa has kesra, ra sukun, fir'aun. We're supposed to what? Widen our mouth, okay? So, but for some reason, when the sukun that is on it is what? Arido. What is arido? In the sense that what? Look at hamzatul wasl. This is hamzatul wasl. It's not like it's kesra on it. But if I want to start from here now, I'll say irji'u. You get irji'u. So instead of me to say irji'u, doing tarqeeq by pulling my mouth aside, the correct thing to do in this situation, if the kesra is sukun is arido, that is this hamzatul wasl, as we know. Hamzatul wasl is like hamza that does not have anything on it. Do you get? So like it has like hamza that has sukun on it. I showed you in the last time. It has like a kind of like special like shape on it. That's what hamzatul wasl. Hamzatul wasl is that hamza that alif that does not have like hamza on it. And like when you're reading and you're in the middle of a sentence and you're reading it together, you don't pronounce the hamza, you just ignore it like as if it's silent, like as if it doesn't exist. But if you are starting from that word that has hamzatul wasl before it, then it becomes a significant hamza that requires to be pronounced, that needs to be pronounced. So if you look at this word, each of you to say irji'u, you're meant to do what? Tafkheem, because the sukun is what? Arido. So whenever you find this kind of special situation, what is the special situation? We know that when an alphabet takes kesra before ra sukun, we do tarqeeq. For example, fir'aun. But the kesra here is not an original kesra. It's a kesra that exists because what? Because of hamzatul wasl. Because what it takes is what? Original is what? Sukun. This hamzatul wasl the original vowel on it is what? Sukun. But this time around, we are converting it to kesra because we are starting on it. Then it becomes instead of it to be irji'u, it will become irji'u. We are doing what? We are doing tafkheem. So this is a special situation. This is a common error. Many people recite by saying irji'u, and that's an error. An error that you don't even notice that you are making. So it's an error. Whenever you find this kind of situation, you pronounce what? Irji'u. You do what? You do tafkheem.